Like, what you do in the off season? Like your free time in the off season?
You don't gotta tell us everything now. You ain't gotta tell us everything.
I already know. I'm a vet.
Welcome to another episode of the Travis Hunter Show. I'm Travis Hunter. What up, Kaden?
It's good, bro. How are you, man?
On today's episode, we'll be talking to a special guest. He's a Hall of Famer, a record-breaking wide receiver known as the unstoppable Megatron, Calvin Johnson. How you doing? How the family doing? What's retired life like? You know,
Man, family's doing good. Got three knuckleheads running around here, 11, 6, and 4.
yes, sir.
Wifey's doing good, man. That takes all my time. My business, family, my foundation. That's where all my time goes.
That's good. That's good. You got blessings around you, so that's good.
What you? I know you got a busy schedule right now, huh?
Nah, I'm just working out. Working out, eating, and going fishing. That's all I do.
All right. What you fishing for?
Largemouth bass. That's what I fish for.
What you like to catch?
Largemouth.
Okay.
Yeah, largemouth. Let me show you.
Where you at now? Where you training at?
I'm in Texas.
He just caught like 6 big ones the other day.
Nice, lovely.
See, that's me right there.
Ooh, wait, those some big boys too.
Mm-hmm. Yesterday, going crazy on that lake.
Yeah, man. You got your little tracker boat or something? What you got? You got a boat or something, or you off the bank?
No, I got two boats. I got a Tracker Pro 170. That was my first boat. My second boat is a Skeeter FXR 21, and it's a bigger boat. It's a nice size one.
I know everything.
Yeah. I got bass boats though. I like
Very cool.
I'm a real fisherman.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about jumping in any tournaments?
I did one tournament when I first got to college. It was like for a sports academy. I did a tournament. It was like $500 to charity, but I also won it. So yeah, I was good. But after football,
there you go.
I definitely will be trying to get in the Bassmaster Classic.
Do you fish?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't have a boat or anything. I just grew up fishing off the bank, finding a river, finding a nice little watering hole. I got an uncle that has a boat that takes us out down in Georgia. But up here in Michigan, I haven't fished a whole lot until my kids got me back fishing like a year or two ago. They got me back fishing up here in Michigan. I love to catch crappie. We go and fry them bad boys up.
Yes, yeah. Okay. You're a freshwater fisherman. We could talk. That saltwater, they got it.
Yes, sir.
But you fish at Lake Lanier in Georgia?
Every now and then I have. Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, Lake Lanier is good. There's good bass fishing out there.
There's so many good spots. West Point is a good spot down there too.
All right. First question for you. You played through a lot of injuries and still put up crazy numbers. Looking back, do you wish you had taken more time to heal, or was it always about toughing it out?
When I got to Detroit, my coaches told me, like, if we're gonna win, you got to play. And, for me, I'm just like, dang, they put that weight on your shoulders in your second year, not really knowing exactly, how big that really is. But I just knew that, whether hurt, if I can run, if I can move, my presence on the field, kind of like, just like you, Travis, man, your presence on the field is going to pull the defense, whether you hurt or not. If they see you out there, they're expecting that you're full go. So they got to respect it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I did a couple times, but we still came out with a dub, and I still got enough time off the hill. So
no, I mean you gonna get your guys open. You gonna get everybody else on the offense open, tight ends, running backs, because you're gonna pull an extra man or two, to your side of the field for sure, 100%. And now if you're playing in the slot, on their hand, they don't know what to do with you then. They can't really do nothing with you then because you go anywhere on the field.
You dominated the league from day one. What was the moment you realized you was that guy?
Was there a moment? I don't know. I think it was for me after my second year. My first year just is a blur because you're a rookie. Everything's getting thrown at you. You're thinking a lot, playing slow, and then you kind of work your way and you get to playing fast as you go. But my second year, man, my second year we went on 16. But I mean that's lower than low.
That's rough.
That's lower than low. But in that second year, I put up like between 12 and 1,300 yards, had 12 or 13 touchdowns, something like that. And I just knew, I was like, man, I could play in this league. I'm here. I could do this, you know. And the thing is, though, like you build that up, you know, you build up like what you can do almost in college. Like
Mhm.
if you could put up 1,000 yard seasons in college, there ain't no doubt you could do it in the league and then some. So it's just being able to really just learn the system because, I mean, the way, you know, if you could dominate on that level, especially in a highly competitive environment, you're going to be playing the same pool of guys in the league. It might not be the exact guys you played, but you're going to be playing the same kind of pool of guys. And then really at that point, it's just about the details and how do you take them little things, your pros and cons, how you take those things you don't do so well and make them to those things that you do really well. And then you just continue to see yourself level up every year. And there is never not room to improve. So as long as you keep that kind of mindset, man, I mean, it's hard to be beat.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
know.
you.
I know it's great for you to see the Lions winning now, though.
It's
Like
fun,
you,
man. It's fun for me because I played with Dan. I played with Dan my first 2 years, and he's the same guy when he was a coach, when he has a player as a coach, man. That's what I love about him.
all right. You were part of the Bible study group with the Lions. How did your faith help you navigate the pressures and expectations of being an NFL superstar?
That's a good question. You know, I was part of FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, back in college.
Mhm.
And you know, when you get to the league, it's not you don't have an FCA obviously, but it's upon the leaders of the team take it upon themselves to create that that safe space, that space for guys to come over, whether it's with the chaplain of the team. And on Mondays we will go after game day, we'll go over on Mondays to either John Kitna at the time, Dan Orlowski that you see on film,
Yeah.
on TV all the time. We'll go to one of these guys' houses and we'll have our Bible study. But it's crucial for you to remember whose you are, so that you know where your confidence comes from and realize that it don't come from everything that you might see or hear out here in the world or social media. You got to keep that front and center so you know who to compare yourself to and how to work and, just how to approach people and just life itself, and if you could do those things, you kind of keep yourself, even keel. You don't get too high. You
Hmm.
don't get too low. You love to work, and you just want to see the best. You want to see yourself, the best version, of yourself. You're always constantly trying to find that best version of yourself. Yeah, I follow Elevation Church, Elevation Worship out of
Yeah. I
North
follow them too.
Carolina.
Yeah.
I started after COVID, and about nobody was going to church. We had a church home in Michigan, but I just found somebody that spoke to me through real life experience, through the Bible, and just been following them ever since. Yeah, they're on YouTube every Sunday. It's great.
Yeah.
Stephen Furtick, the
See,
pastor, they're
that's my
good.
guy. I love him. Follow him on Instagram.
Yeah,
Like I get every day, I get Instagram, TikTok every day from him.
he
So
feeds you. He feeds you.
yeah.
Great.
Everyone talks about your crazy catch radius. You made impossible grabs look easy. Was there a DB who really made you earn it?
All right, yeah, I got a two-part answer to that one. When I first got into the league, I was introduced to Al Harris. Al Harris was not a friendly opponent. Al Harris gonna play 60 plays, 60 minutes, and then he gonna give it to you every play. It's different from how it is nowadays. Like Al used to get away with putting your hands around your throat, putting your hand in your face. Like guys couldn't get away with wearing chains and stuff on the field back then because them things is getting yanked off, and not just because ain't nobody gonna to just yank your chain off. It's just because it's so physical, such a physical game, especially at the line of scrimmage.
Mhm.
And but Al was the one. I was like, dang, if I got to face him, he played with Green Bay at the time. I was like, if I got to play him twice a year, oh, I was like, okay, I see where I got to go. I see where I got to get to. And then, but as far as just raw talent and like just playmaking ability, a young Pat Peterson when he came out of LSU, and for some reason, they're in the NFC with the Cardinals. But we played them for like 5 straight years. You don't usually do that when they're not in your like actual conference playing them 5 straight
Mhm.
years. I'm like, damn, the NFL just want to see the matchup or something. But that dude gave me the most headaches. That's the one game I saw on the calendar. I was like, all right, whatever it takes, week 7, 8, 12, whatever it is, I got to be healthy going into this game. 'Cause I know it's gonna be a brawl.
Yeah. I was a dog. I'm a Packers fan, so I love everybody
Yeah.
on Green Bay.
I want to know what was you thinking though when teams started like double and triple team you like, and you kept finding a way to win the
Yeah.
matchup. Like,
That
what
was
was you?
crazy.
What was going through
All
your
them.
head?
Early on when that would happen, it would, Matthew would automatically go to his next look. But then I was like, man, just throw me the ball, dog. Like, let me dunk on these fools, dog. Like, let
Yeah.
me make a poster on these boys. Like, and I love it though. Like, he trusted me so much, that, he knew that I wasn't going to let the ball get intercepted. If I couldn't get to it, nobody's going to get to it. And he knew I was going to make a play on it. I was going to go high point the ball, just like we taught. Go high point the ball. And if you do that, like DB, shit, you're a DB now. I can't say that about you. I can't say it about all DBs. But most DBs can't high point the ball. You play DB like a damn receiver out there, so that's different.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That is
That
crazy.
It was like
Saints.
it'd have been interesting playing against a Travis Hunter because that would have been the show because you could high point that ball as well. So that's what's going to give guys trouble, especially if you're playing on the defensive side of the ball, especially balls downfield. Man, I look forward to seeing it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I ain't never seen no player ever have two guys just standing in front of him, like ready to guard you. I never seen that before. The
Now we was
Saints,
watching. Didn't we watch
the
that the other
Saints.
day? We was watching like some highlights.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
seen it the other
There's
day.
just two guys just standing. I've never seen
Oh
that
yeah,
before. You're
yeah.
the
We
only
seen
player
it.
I
Yeah,
ever
we
seen
definitely
that
see. Yeah, we
two
seen it
guys
the other
just
day.
standing in front of you. Like that's crazy. Like nobody's ever got that much attention before.
I was dogging them that game. I was geeked. That was like my first playoff game. I think it was. So I came out. I was so geeked up. I was ready to play, and they would by that point they was like, all right, like let's just take them out of the game or whatever we can
Yeah,
do.
Yeah.
oh, that was insane. That was crazy. When you were going through those rough years in Detroit, was there ever a moment you were seriously like thought about forcing your way out, or did you want to stay low?
So no, it was more about for me. I'm a loyal person, but even beyond the loyalty to Detroit, what I saw was building. We had gotten to the playoffs like once or twice. Well, we got to the playoff one time before I resigned my contract there, and I saw what we had. We had a Super Bowl winning quarterback, which we saw Matthew go on to win a Super Bowl once he left Detroit. We had other players that went on to win Super Bowls from Ndamukong Suh. We had a couple other guys on the team, but we had the makings of our team right there to go ahead and take it over the top, to get to the playoffs consistently, to go and challenge and win a Super Bowl. But then after I signed a couple years later, they broke up the band, I guess you could sort of say.
Yeah,
And when I say they broke up the band, what I mean is like we had three killers on the defensive line. We had, like I say, Ndamukong Suh, we had Nick Fairley, and we had a C.J. Mosley. Them dudes together, they wreaked havoc. We had a top-rated defense, we had a top-rated offense, and we got rid of we got rid of all three of those guys in 1 year, and we didn't replace those guys.
yeah,
And I got mad love for my dog Eric Ebron. We drafted him out of North Carolina that year after we got rid of him. I just knew we were going to draft a defensive lineman or something of that sort highly, and were never able to fill that hole. At that point, it was it almost began to be a rebuild at that point.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Was it like
Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah? Like what was the reason like you were like retired? Because I know you were like I feel like that's your prime. Like you were at your prime when you retired. So like what went
That's
into
a word
that?
on the street. That's a
Yeah.
word on the street, man. I could put up 1,000 yards on one leg. I mean, that's what I did that last year.
Yeah.
The year before, after my 8th year, I had a real bad ankle sprain where dude just messed my ankle up, and then it was really like running on one leg. I like lost all elasticity in my right ankle. Couldn't even push off it. Like everything was coming from my left leg. And even after my 8th season, I went home to Atlanta. I was doing the first thing smoking after the season back home. And I talked to my dad, I sat on the couch, and I was like, man, I think I'm done, Dad. And he was like, shoot, you think you can do it one more time? And I was just sitting there and I was thinking about it. And as I was thinking about it, he was like, well, since you're thinking about it, you can do it one more time. So I was like, all right, I'll go back here and I'll do it one more time. But I knew going into that 9th year that it's going to be my last, just because at some point, playing through the pain, it gets old.
Yeah.
It gets old. You lose all the fun gets zapped out of the game when you're just constantly in pain. I hardly practiced my 9th year. I still put up 1,000 yards, but I told myself before I started playing, I wanted to put up 10,000 yards. I wanted to play almost 10 seasons. I wanted to do this and that. And I accomplished most of those goals after 8 years. And I was just like I've accomplished my goals. I've set myself up financially, myself and my family. Shoot, at this point, I started thinking about other things. And, football's a dangerous sport to play
Hmm.
when you're not thinking about football and you ain't all in.
Yeah.
And so it's like this. I was ready to have my family. I was ready to start my family. I was already thinking about other things I want to do after football and the pain of the pain that I was going through and where the team was at the time. It was just like, I'm out. It was a fairly easy decision for me to make with all those things going on together.
Do you miss it ever?
You missed the game. Sure, I mean, so when I retired, first thing I said, I was like, man, I can't wait to go sit on my couch for and do nothing. Just do nothing. After living a life of structure and playing ball, whatever sport you're playing growing up, I was like, I can't wait to just go sit down and do nothing. That lasted about 1 week. And I was like, dang, what's next? And it wasn't necessarily to go back and play football because I didn't watch football for almost 2 years after I retired. I was
Wow,
that fed up with football. I
that's
didn't want
crazy.
nothing to do with football. And it was partially the way it ended with the team too,
Yeah.
but I didn't want anything to do with football. But I was ready to put on my business hat and go into business. And then, like I said, I got married a year after I got done playing. I was ready to start my family and all those things, put more focus into my foundation. But yeah, man, I didn't miss it. You don't miss it, especially when you put it all in. That's the thing, man. When you going all in anything that you do, when you're living in the moment and you put in your best effort, your best attitude for it, you begin to stack up moments. And if you're doing that, if you're doing it right, you're stacking up good moments on top of good moments. So you just keep on stacking those up. And when you look back before you know it, boom, 9 years went like that.
Yeah.
Shit, I've been out of the league like 10 years almost now.
Hmm.
10 years went like
Yeah.
that because I've been family man, foundation man, business man. So just like I say, just keep stacking good moments. And like I said, they might not all be good. They might be learning moments, but just turn that into a positive, however you can. It's all about you, about how you view things.
Yeah. You said something about your
Yeah.
foundation. You started a business. You started your foundation. How did that start for you? And also, why is it so important for you to invest back into your community?
100%. Good question. My mom helped me start my foundation in 2008. So my second year in the league, we started it. Why is it so important? Been blessed, man. Been blessed with a beautiful family. Talking about not my wife, my kids, but before I was married, I got four siblings. I mean, three siblings. Older sister, myself, little brother, little sister. Mom and dad, they're still together. My dad worked for the railroad. My mom was an educator growing up, and just watching them work, they instilled all this work ethic into all of us. And we all grew up to have successful lives. Like my brothers and sisters are doctors and whatnot. But we've been blessed to be able to be in a position where we're able to do so much. So, what I forget what scripture it is, but to whom is, blessed, there comes a duty, to give back to your community.
Hmm.
And I took that to heart. I was just like, okay, how do we find a way to give back? And one way that stuck to me was when my sister, when she was in college, she got the Jackie Robinson scholarship when she was going to college. And I was able to see like, dang, that's impactful. You're able to help with folks with their finances, be able to help send their kids off to college. If you could provide funds in any kind of way, that would be beneficial. It'd be a blessing to a family. So that's our number one initiative that my the Calvin Johnson Jr. Foundation has, is to give scholarships. So we do fundraisers throughout the year to raise money for those scholarships that we give between Atlanta and Detroit student athletes.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's amazing. You were a physical anomaly, but how much of your success came from the mental side of the game? How did you stay on top of your defenders?
It's all mental, man. I remember when I first came into the league, you could spend time. It's all about your mental, man. It's like you got all the gifts. We got all the gifts physically. But a lot of guys lose the game you lose a matchup before they even enter the game because it's all about where your mind been. Like, where your mind been during the week of preparation? Are you focused on the things that you got to do, or are you worried about the guy that you got to play? Because if you worry about the things you got to do and you put that work in during the week and you put it in game speed, that stuff's going to translate to the field on Sunday.
Yeah,
But if you spending all week worrying about who you got to play,
exactly.
then that's where you lose at. So that's my biggest focus, just putting the work in during the week. No matter who I'm playing, I got to have a great week of preparation.
Hmm.
I got to practice at game speed. I don't want to hear nothing coming from my coach. I had an OG as a coach, and we called him OG, but Sean Jefferson. He played in the league for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate to have somebody that played, to school us to keep me accountable, because Sean always will find something to say, whether you did 100%, where you scored an A or whatever on the play, he going to find something to say. But I love that because he kept me on my toes always. And the one thing he asked at the beginning of the season, he's like, you want me to coach you to be great? You want to be great? You want me to coach you to be great? What you going to say? Yes, sir. And he going to do that. So you got to find somebody, one, that's going to hold you accountable, because it's hard enough to do it all by yourself. But if you have an accountability partner, whether it's your coach or another teammate, that is key. But, it's all about the mental, guys. You can lose the game before you even go to it if you depending on where your mind is going into it.
Yeah. So how did you balance your football and your life, your regular life?
I ain't had no life. It was just football. See, I didn't for me. I couldn't see myself there's so many, all these guys out here. I couldn't be married and play ball. Cause I felt like I knew that okay, I'm 240. I run, I jump, I got to break down, get in and out of these routes. I hit the ground all the time because I'm going all out. I'm like, dang, when I come home, it's rehab.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have my masseuse there, if I don't have Dr. Ray, my chiropractor there, I got my hyperbaric chamber I'm getting in. I got my sauna I'm getting in to sweat out the toxins. I got my pulse electromagnetic therapy machine to remove the swelling. I got the game ready, the Normatec. You got all these things that you got to do, and then before you know it, you get home, 6, 7 o'clock, depending on what time of day it is. Shoot, before you know it, that time's gone. It's time to get your rest and do it again the next day. Be up at 6:30, be at the facility at 7, or probably be at the facility around 6:30 actually, and just do it again. But that was the life. So I was like, man, I can't. If I had a family, and this ain't everybody, but I know for me, if I had a family, something ain't getting this time. One of them buckets ain't getting filled up because I got to pull from this bucket I got to pull from my family time to be able to do my rehab, or I got to pull from my rehab to be able to spend time with my family. So that's why for me, I just couldn't. That's why I was excited when I got done playing, because I knew it was time for me to start my family.
Yeah, that's real. So what'd you do in the off season, your free time in the off season?
Yeah, but I said, what you doing in the off season? You ain't have no fun.
Off season,
you don't gotta tell us everything now. You ain't gotta tell us everything.
So, hey, I already know. I'm a vet. I already know. But no, man. Like I said, I'm on the first thing smoking to Atlanta. All my dogs, we all come to the A. We was in the A in a good time, man. I lived in Buckhead and still got my spot there. But me and my guys, we take trips together. We go fishing. We take road trips to Miami. We be all over the place, man. One thing I wish I did do with my guys, I wish we would have traveled more internationally.
Yeah.
We did all the stuff in Florida to California, and that's all fun. But I just wish we would have got more exposure internationally, if anything.
Do you travel a lot now?
Yeah. I'm always on the road. I just got back. Whether it's traveling for my dogs, like guys I played with, or just guys in the league. I just came from Torrey Holtz and Terrence Holt, their foundation event in North Carolina.
Okay.
I got one I'm constantly, if I'm not going somewhere for a charity event, I got business travel, and then in between I try to make time. I try to take my wife with me everywhere I go, because, we hardly get a lot of time, without the kids. So that's time for us to go and get away from the kids. But yeah, if I'm going somewhere with the wife, we either go into a mountain, because I snowboard and she skis. So we'll go out west to get on the mountains, or we go into a beach vacation.
That's lit.
Okay. That's tough. All right, before we let you go, you've been great at everything you touched on and off the field. What is the one habit that kept you great, no matter what you was doing?
The one habit that kept me great, bro, is being able to control my attitude and my effort that I touched on earlier. My coach, when I got to college, one thing he always told me, man, you control your attitude and effort. More times than not, things are going to fall your way. And you will see throughout life, man, there's situations where you approach where you might not feel like being there, but you're in the spotlight now, and you've been in the spotlight, but you got the ability to make or break somebody's day, because they come to you and they see the inspiration. And if you're having a good moment, you not being at your best, you not being on point in that moment, can have a collateral effect to somebody else, and because you interact with that person when you're not at your best, and they're coming to see you just thinking the world of you, and you're not giving them your best. And then you could kind of, you could put them in a bad space. I've been there where I've done that. I've met this lady before, and she came back and saw me. This is years ago, but I met her at some point. I don't even remember meeting her the first time. She was like, man, I don't remember if she said you were mean or if you were an asshole to me the first time I met you. It was one or two. Just say, But when she told me that was the last time I've ever had that conversation with somebody, because I realized the impact that even though you might not want to have that impact, even though you might be tired as crap because you've been dealing with people all day, all year, your whole life, the last couple of years, whatever it is, but the impact you can have on that one person and it was an older lady. It wasn't like it was no kid that's in sports or nothing like that. It was a lady that was inspired by the way that I moved from in the community to how I played on the field. And I didn't give her a good experience. And I realized, like, man, that affected her. That affected her in a negative way. And you don't want to ever let those negative vibes leave you into somebody else. You always want to leave somebody better than you met than when you met them.
Yeah,
so I just say, just keep
me.
that in mind, like your attitude and effort and everything that you do.
Yeah, that's me. I always keep a smile on my face.
I got one more question. Chad's about to make that jump to the league. What's one piece of advice you wish someone told you before you got to NFL? And what's a piece of advice you got for Chad?
We covered a lot of stuff today that, I hope that you maybe take some tidbits from.
No, I will.
But if there's one other thing I had to add, like I said, keeping your faith first. Obviously, you probably hear this all the time. Find a pro that's doing it good and get up under their wing. But, that's so different nowadays. How can I tell y'all something? 'Cause y'all got access to everything now. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, y'all are essentially pros and almost already because, you're being compensated for your work, which is a great thing. So the biggest thing I would have to say is, this is your business. Your body is your business. And your business is going to go as far as you continue to invest in it. So always invest in your business, from what you eat, from how you work, to the people that you put around it. Guarding your circle, and what I've seen from guys that have been in the league, your circle can lift you up or it can pull you down. So make sure those people that are in your circle, and this is probably like your friends and even your family, man. Like, I was lucky enough to have a mom that would stop, kind of be my filter when I got to the league, and be like, because people would come and ask me for stuff. Everybody wanted something. And she would kind of filter those things out for me. Because I remember, Deion told me this when I got drafted. The day I got drafted, Deion told me this right off the stage. He was like, son, you're going to have to learn how to say no. It's going to be the hardest thing for you to do, but you're going to have to learn how to say no. And it's going to be tough. You're going to have people coming at you for this and that, for your time, for your money. And you're going to have to learn how to say no. You're going to have a good circle around you of people that are going to be able to tell you, even if you're not sure, you have to need sometimes you're going to need somebody because you might not have been through a certain situation or a certain experience, but there's so many people that have been through those experiences. I've been through those experiences. I've been through experiences where people have took advantage of me, for my finances, for my time. So just understanding, how to say no, put people around you that can help you filter those things out. Those would be some things that I would definitely say that you got to do going into the league. Keep your circle tight. Keep your circle tight. Your circle don't need to be, your circle need to be tight, because you don't need any other distraction. You're going to have enough distractions. They're going to come left and right. Adversity always going to be there, but it's just how you face it. That's one thing my coach OG used to always tell me. You can constantly have adversity, but don't put it to the side. Face it right away, because it's going to come right back to you if you try to put it to the side. So those little tidbits there. Congratulations on your Heisman, young man.
Yes, sir.
It was fun to watch you get down out there. I look forward to seeing what you're able to accomplish in the league, man. I know you're going to accomplish some things, so I just look forward to seeing. I got a question for you.
What's up?
And I think I know the answer to this. Like, I know you probably want to play both sides of the ball, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me this then. Like, obviously that's 120 plays. What do you think? What in your mind? How many plays you think?
How many plays I know I can play? I can play 120. Our offense was firepower. We didn't stop. We didn't have no breaks. Like my first year when we first got to college, our offense was based off tempo.
Yeah,
We didn't have no huddle plays. We didn't go to the huddle.
yeah, you're right.
We so used to getting
Mhm.
signals. So my biggest thing is just me learning the playbook more. You know, getting more in depth with the playbook and understanding what I'm doing, so I can go out there and play
Yep.
120 plays. You know, if the organization need me to do that. So
Well, I'm not going to tell you what you can't do. The only thing I am going to tell you is to get your ass down when you see a crowd, dive at the knees, dive forward at the knees. Don't take them hits so you can take up so you can get them plays in. And the only thing I would say to that, man, is like just going I think everybody knows now that you want to do that. So I think that just making sure that because what I can see is that I see coaches like I want them on offense. The coordinator like I want them on defense, and then they having that little situation there. But man, all you got to do is be able to show to your point that you can do it by understanding the playbook. And when they see that, meaning like they're gonna have you in on they're always gonna have you in on those clutch situations because they know you can make the play. So no, excited to see how your rookie year goes. I'm gonna follow your career, no doubt about it.
yes, sir.
And all the best to you, man. Stay healthy out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We appreciate you joining us today.
Of course.
That's another episode of the Travis on the Show. Thanks to Calvin Johnson and my co-host Kaden for joining me this week. Check us out every Wednesday on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at the Travis on the Show. See you next time on Travis on the Show, powered by Overtime.